and Lenny Bruce to get a level of the comic that Nathan and Nathaniel West is dealing with. And then, of course, The Iceman Cometh, our greatest playwright in words. Sondheim's a playwright in song. Right. But playwright in words, Eugene O'Neill, The Iceman Cometh. And Eugene O'Neill is always talking about the catastrophic and powerful. You don't even have to, of course, accept the conclusions. I don't accept the conclusions of any of these folk. You know, there's no way I could accept their conclusions, but they push me against the wall, and that's where I belong. And one of the reasons why I spend as much time in high schools and prisons these days, because I'm trying to reach out to young folk. And if they don't read the text, textual education, you give them a danceable education. You see? So you get the ideas through the music and the melody and the harmonies and so forth and so on. Long tradition of music shaping soul, heart, mind, and so on. We just had James Levine. Did anybody hear James Levine? He was something, wasn't he? He was very good. He absolutely. No, I got to check him out. But he recognizes the same thing, the tonal atonal. But the thing is, he's still wrestling with how do you engage in soul formation in the Keatsian sense. Mustering the courage to think critically, mustering the courage to empathize, mustering the courage to preserve hope, but not optimism. And I tell Brother Obama, I say, brother, do not confuse mature courage and substantive hope with adolescent bravery and naive audacity. They're not the same thing. Blues people, right, you look at the hope. You know, Irish with the British, Jewish folk in Jew-hating Europe, never optimistic, but hopeful. Their children against the grain, evidence against them, mustering love to resist. Koreans versus the Japanese. This is a human phenomena that has to do with hope. It's only in America you get these little secular constructs of optimism. It's true, because it's a sentimental place. Born on a hill. No scars and bruises, anything is possible. I heard all the candidates said that. We're Americans, we can solve any problem because we're Americans. I said, that's a lie. It's not true. It's just not true. Right. You can't deal with fear and insecurity and anxiety and death and so forth. There's certain things you can't cure. And you can start with white supremacy and male supremacy. We haven't solved that yet. That's what I didn't like about Hillary, too. She said, did Johnson realize the dream? The dream hasn't been realized. What is she talking about?
What do you mean? She said he got it done.
He got it done. It hasn't been done, it's undone. They made progress. That's different than realizing Martin's dream. Martin's dream is now a nightmare for many. It's possibility for some. It's success for a few. His dream is in no way realized, but we made significant progress. But Malcolm said what? You don't stab a man in the back 9 inches, pull it out 3 inches, and say you're making progress. He understands that. That's not just rhetorical at all. That's the best of America. Keep track of the next challenge, but recognize it's endless, it's unfinished, it's open-ended in that sense. If we miss this moment in this election and end up with some folks whose name I already mentioned on the right, American democracy could nearly be over. Believe me. Because American democracy will not last forever. All social experiments, including empires, come and go like the ebb and flow of history. And it could be over. It will just be a slow decay, a slow decline. People become more and more indifferent. Remember what Heschel said about indifference? The indifference to evil is more evil than the evil itself. Abraham Joshua Heschel says. Now that's very strong language. But that's a possibility. We missed the moment, and here comes a new form of the Ice Age. America can't stand another 10, 15 years of the Ice Age. It can't. It just cannot stand it. And which means the legacy of Martin and the others just begin to wane. I mean, just begin to collapse. You meet so many young folk now in the prisons and so forth, they look at me and, you talking about justice rather than revenge? And you talking about love rather than hatred? You must be losing your mind. Brother West, you got to wake up. I said, no, I'm saying you sleepwalking, not me. No, you sleepwalking, brother. It's all about power. It's nothing but about power. You know that. Wall Street White House, the history of the world is power, greed, fear, but they can't have the last word. There's got to be some resistance. It's got to be some countervailing, counter-hegemonic response to the power and the greed and the hatred and the bigotry. They said, no, that's what it's all about. That's what we were taught. That's what it is. I say, that's nihilistic. It's nihilistic. But that's actually what O'Neill believed in the end.
No, it is.
But look, this art is a resistance against it. Let's be fair to Eugene.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm sorry we've run out of time. We could have gone all night, but Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you.